All right. Hello and welcome back to your 14-day extreme time makeover. My name is Taylor Garrett and I am your host. And today we have an incredible conversation lined up for you with an expert who I'm just going to introduce him before we bring it on because he's pretty incredible and we've got his full attention today. His name is Dossou and he's been featured on CBS, NBC, and Fox. Not only that, but he's a motivational TEDx speaker, author, and co-founder of Leadership University. He's also the owner of Salesforce Catalyst, which is a platform designed to enable people and businesses into transformation, as well as produce other speakers and coaches. So we've got an incredible conversation with him lined up around living and achieving free of fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem, which Stephen has been on his platform impacting thousands of lives on a global scale. He's nicknamed Action Man. He is viewed by his peers as a charismatic visionary who undoubtedly believes in unleashing the human potential by inspiring people to break their boundaries and redefine their limits. So if you're in a place right now where you get to redefine your boundaries and your limits, then this is a conversation you're going to want to tune into. So first, let me just welcome Stephen. He's coming all the way to us today from Turkey. So I just want to welcome you and thank you for joining us, Stephen.
Thank you so much, Taylor, for having me here today. I'm excited. Look, this is an opportunity to share something with lovely people out there. So how more excited can I be? This is like a big fish in a big water. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, well, and so what I love about your work is you speak to transformation, and you're right, this is a big fish because what we're going to talk about today is living and achieving free of fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem, right? Which is something that everybody comes up against at some point in their life, especially when we're up leveling and when we're not satisfied with where we've been playing it. So I really want to ask you, as this is a time makeover, an extreme time makeover, we're going deep, right? And this isn't usually something that people consider important to look at when they're dealing with their time and they're managing it. But I want to ask you, what does self-esteem and fear have to do with our time, right? Which is a very abstract concept, but it's also very real. So why is it crucial to bring these pieces into a time makeover?
Wow. Well, Taylor, I think first of all, what I have to do right now is to say not just thank you for having this platform, but also to praise you, because I know what it is to lead these kind of things. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of hours that you have to put in, a lot of thinking, especially. I mean, the work we can put it aside, but the mind work, the brain power that it requires for you to do this and to serve people with it. You have to be a person that really puts others before yourself. You have the person that really believes in humanity for you to be taking the steps you're taking right now. So listen, you are awesome. You are 99 times awesome. We leave the one for after the this interview, okay? All right, so great job, Taylor. I'm really proud of you and what you're doing, and I'm excited to be here one more time. So coming back to your question, what does fear, self-doubt, low self-esteem, what do these three demons of mankind? Yes, I call them the three toughest demons of mankind because the enemies outside can do us no harm if there are no enemies within, right? The enemy is in me, if you get what I'm saying right there. So look, whatever you go through in life, okay, whether it is a love relationship, whether it's a business relationship, at the end of it, I believe that there are only two paths. The path of confidence to get better at what you do or to go higher in what you do, or the path that's going to leave you with scars that's going to be speaking highly in your emotion, in your spirit, and your soul, filled with the three toughest demons of mankind: fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. So what do these three things have to do with your time management? Now, let's agree on this, first of all, that when we're talking about time, we're talking about life. Okay. Now, and this is in the context of being human, because life is vague, life is huge, and life goes all outside of this earth as well. Life is something that's limitless. However, when we're talking about in the context of being human, when we're talking about life, we're talking about time. All right. Time is the ultimate currency. Time is what Bill Gates has converted into billions of dollars. Time is something that somebody is converting right now into $15 per hour. And by converting that, what they are actually converting is their lifetime. Right. So I guess what I'm saying is that the things that we achieve, the things that we live on a daily basis, is directly proportional to how we spend our time and how we spend that time to live our life. All right. So What am I saying by this? Okay, I mean, when I was born in a bedroom house, I mean, 2-bedroom shack. I mean, calling a house would be too much of an overrating statement. When I was born in a 2-bedroom shack with 9 siblings, okay, so I know what it is to sleep on the floor and fighting with cockroaches and mice. Be like, push a little bit, you need some space. You know what I'm saying? So I know what it is to walk 15, 20 miles to go to school 3, 4 times a day and to come back, and sometimes with no food. I know what it is to walk on dusty roads, back street of West Africa with the sun scorched burning your face. Yet you carry a basket on your head just to go fetch water. When I grew up there, even though I grew up with all those tough conditions, the voice was whispering in my head that, look, you can be more than what your circumstances deem you to be, that you can be just a little bit more. And at the age of 18, I decided to leave my country, to relocate to a better environment that can offer me opportunities to grow, to become better, to create success for myself. Look, the journey took me about 18 months. And during those 18 months, my family thought I was dead. Okay, follow me, I'm going somewhere, all right? Follow my timeline, I'm going somewhere. And eventually when I landed in South Africa was my first destination. When I got into South Africa, I mean, I did all kind of jobs you can ever think of. I mean, at some point I was sleeping on a shack. The rent was $20 that I couldn't even afford. I was selling on the street corner. I would go on the street corner stand and do, hi, ma'am, how are you? If you can give me a moment of your time, I want to show you why. Buying this apple can make your husband love you more. Hi, sir, don't go just yet. Get one sweet of mine today so that your day can be the best that you have ever lived on earth. I'll go there every single day doing that, not knowing that somebody will come to me on a Wednesday afternoon to say that, listen, young man, I've been seeing you for a while. I know you're going through a tough time, but your attitude is what I love the most. Let me give you an opportunity to become a vacuum cleaning salesperson at Messmart, a division of Walmart in Africa. Look, let me tell you something. The reality is by then, I had never seen a vacuum cleaner in my life. I was about 19, 20 going, but I had never seen or touched a vacuum cleaner in my life. All right. So I got given this opportunity. And I mean, I worked for 3 years nonstop, every single day, 7 days a week, 12, 13, 15 hours daily. And it was pretty soon that I got given another opportunity to go from the sales floor as a vacuum cleaning salesperson to become an area manager leading about 60 to 100 people. After that, I went on to lead another 200-300 group of people. And then the story continues. But what am I saying by this, okay? Going from a 2-bedroom shack in Togo, okay, West Africa, a country that almost nobody knows about, right? I mean, going from that to now leading a group of 200-300 people, let me tell you something. It was a long shot. But notice when I got the call, that morning when I went home in the evening, I was pacing my bedroom floor with the voices in my head saying that, look, can you do this? You a boy from Togo, come on, like you are just in your early 20s back then. Your colleagues are going to be 50, 60 years old. Do you think you are cut out for this? Come on, call your boss back and tell him that this is not for you. Drop it. Just focus on thinking small. Now, what? Okay, look, if I bring these things together, right? As I said at the beginning of this conversation, I said that our fruit in life is a direct proportion of how we convert our lifetime currency. So basically time, how we convert and spend our time. Now notice, I had to study on myself, by myself, management, leadership, learn how to operate machines, understand the corporate culture, all the way from Togo to climb that corporate ladder. Now, when that time came for me to be rewarded, there I was. When that time came for me to reap the reward of the hard work that I put in by converting my time effectively, there I was, dealing with the 3 toughest demons of mankind, telling me in my ears that I am not cut out to reap those fruit. So when we talk about the concept of time and the concept of 3 demons, they are very much related. That if we are unable to carry ourselves with the right self-esteem, and if we are unable to think for ourselves and push away the spirit of fear, the spirit of doubt that paralyzes us from taking the right actions or the right decisions, we will consistently be converting our time into fruits that we are not worthy of. Or we're consistently converting our time into fruit that we ourselves become the poison of. So basically, it's like you're a farmer, Taylor. You're a farmer. You plant things, and right at the time of the harvest, because you don't believe in yourself, because you see yourself small, because you forget that you've got a godly nature, that you are made whole, that everything that you touch you can achieve, because you forget that, you grab a bucket of poison, then you throw it back onto the ground. And then there you go, killing your own fruit, killing your own gift, killing your own talent, killing your own destiny, killing your own thing that you are made for to be. Oh, come on, somebody. I'm excited right now. Let's go to the next question.
Okay. I love your energy about this. I love, I just feel like I'm listening to, gosh, like soul speaking right now. Like where you're going with this is powerful. So I want to take it to the next step. You talked about leadership. It's super important here, but you also are talking about fear, which is the antithesis, the enemy of, well, you said the three demons, right? Of possibility and leadership. So I really want to ask you, before we start talking about leadership, let's talk a little bit more about fear and the self-doubt piece. So we know we have it often, right? Like I can see it there, and we know it's there, and so often it continues to lead us. So what can we do when I see my fear? I'm unwilling to take action because I'm afraid of what will happen. It's uncertain. What can we do when we see it there and we're unable to move forward?
Very good. Nice question, Taylor. Look, as I said before, I said that at the end of the tunnel of every experience we go through in life, there are two paths. There's one path that can boost our confidence and the belief in ourselves. Then there's the other path that can crush that confidence and leave us with fear, self-doubt, and low self-esteem. Okay. So in other words, what I'm saying is that the experiences we go through in life, they leave us with a certain impact. They leave us with a certain belief system. All right. Listen to my word carefully. I don't only talk about belief, but I also talk about a belief system. Because what? All the things we go through in life, all the experiences we live on a daily basis, they come together and shape the system. System is something that we don't see, we cannot really touch. We talk about different systems that run, an operating system, we can touch it, right? But it's there, it's working. So a system, a belief system, is basically that system that we use to process our own life with. So basically, let me give you an example. I say, oh, Taylor, you know what? You look great today. Now, for you to be able to take that information in and validate it and say, oh, indeed, there's, even if it's just 1% of chance that he's telling the truth, that it must be the whole truth, you have to have a system at the first place that believe yourself to be beautiful. I mean, have you ever told somebody that they look beautiful and they were like, no, I don't, no, not today. Right? I don't, do you know what I'm saying? Right. Because their belief system does not grant them the opportunity to believe that they themselves are beautiful, right? So I guess, first of all, for us to even talk about how to deal with the fear, the self-doubt, low self-esteem, what I'm saying is we first have to understand what our belief system is, right? We first have to understand what kind of belief we navigate life with, right? So in one of the documents that I'm giving on this talk for free, there are steps where you can use to name and shame your belief. All right. Or should I say, you can name and shame the belief that could potentially hold you back. We have two types of belief. Okay. We have the empowering beliefs that I talk about in my book, Be Transformed: How to Live Free of Fear, Self-Doubt, Low Self-Esteem. And then we have the disempowering beliefs. Okay. So the disempowering beliefs are the ones that basically hold us back. Okay, are the ones that, and here's the thing. In the disempowering beliefs, we have the conscious disempowering beliefs and then the unconscious disempowering beliefs, right? So the unconscious disempowering belief, for example, are the ones of tradition, okay, are the ones of society. It's deep down there, holding you back. It's deep down there, preventing you from going bold, because why? There are some traditions that preach to people that they are small. They are not meant to achieve greatness, right? That they have to hide. They shouldn't speak. All right. I mean, this when I think about this, it really hurt me, because there are some traditions out there that prevent women from speaking their voice. I mean, how can you prevent the mother of a home to speak their voice? I mean, how can you prevent, right, a mother of a nation to speak her voice? Come on, somebody. We have to get better at this thing, right? So I'm saying that first, we have to be able to name and shame, our belief system, right? Understand deep down what is the governing belief through which we get to process the information. What is the governing belief that we get process that information, which at the end of it triggers in us the fear, the doubt, and low self-esteem. Right? Let me give you a practical example. Okay, let me give you a practical example. I take you back again to that time when I was pacing the bedroom floor. Now, what I failed to highlight earlier on was that those little thoughts, they weren't coming only from the fact that I came from a 2-bedroom house. No, let me tell you a story. When I will sell on the street corner, stand and go back to my 2-bedroom shack where you have these big mice, these bodybuilding mice that will come and eat your food and bully you on top. I mean, you have these mice, and these mice are bulky, they are tough. They're coming like, we're going to eat your food, you broke, what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I remember I used to go to this church, because you know what? At a certain point, you fight until you don't know. The fight wears you out. Okay. And the only thing you can do is, go to God and ask for more strength. So I went to this church, and let me tell you something. I walked to that church and I saw this girl that was singing. Whoa, God, when she sang, angels came down to come and clap. All right. I'm telling you, right? Angels came down and just clapped because she had such an amazing voice. And I was like, okay, look, let me go talk to this girl. Hopefully, she can agree for a coffee session. So I went, I said, hey, girl, look, you look beautiful. I mean, your voice just blows me away. Look, come on, let's grab coffee. Let's take a walk, hand in hand. Listen, tell her, she looked at me from head to toe, and she was like, hello, I don't date pro guys, okay? I'm sure my facial expression, it doesn't reflect how much she showed, but she's like, hello, I'm not doing it. And then now, if she said that, tell her that would have been okay. But what followed after? When we got out of the church, and there I received in my face a spit. What? She spat on me for being broke. And listen, on that day, I made a covenant that I should never be broke again so that I don't have to go through that from a woman again. Now, when I was pacing this bedroom floor, after receiving the call from my boss, it wasn't just the 2-bedroom shack that I came from in Togo. No, but the voice of this young woman was playing in my head that, listen, you are nothing. You are a person that's so unworthy that they can speak on. Don't go for it. Right? Now, that is the power of beliefs. Do you know what I'm saying? That is the power of belief that we can inherit from situations we go through in life. In other words, a young woman that has been told over and over again that she's not beautiful, she's not, made to be anything, right? That she's ugly, she's worthless. Guess what? She's going to go through life believing those things about herself. Right? So when we are able to go deep down and then unpack those belief systems that are holding us back, then how we can work with it. One, cultivate a daily habit of reading something positive or doing some exercises. I myself, for the past 10 years, every single day, I do a minimum of 150 push-ups. I read something positive and I listen to at least 1 or 2 or 3 hours of motivational audios. Why? Because I do those things to recondition my belief system. Right? I can talk to you about some very awesome neurolinguistic programming techniques, switch method, meta modeling. But look, I don't want to give you anything complex. I want to give you something that you can use today, right now, to start seeing your change in your life. 2, go for the right people, OQP, only quality people. I always say, don't hang around the people that when you are a seed, they see you as a seed and they want to see you as a seed and they want to keep you as a seed because it works for them. No. Go with people that even when you're a seed, they see the forest in you. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, because when you hang around with the right people, they can impact your belief system. They can make you see as how you could be. See a man as how he is, and he remain that way. But see what he could be, and he will become what he should become. Do you get what I'm saying? Number two. Number three, develop a spiritual habit. Okay, now if his meditation is good, if his prayer is good, whatever works for you. Why? Because I'm a firm believer that the man, the human being, as we call it, is made of three things: the spirit, the soul, and the body. Right? But we feed the body all the time. We don't feel the spirit, we don't feel the soul. The soul is composed of the mind, the will, and the emotions. Right. So if we work on our will, if we work on our emotions, if we work on our body, we clean our body, we eat, clean, make up everything all the time, high heels, Gucci bag, all of that, we might as well put something in our spirit too. Right. And how we do that, we can do that through meditation. We can do that through everyday prayer. We can do it by just going to nature, spending time in nature, reconnecting with our source. Right. And if you are able to develop those daily habits every single time while knowing exactly the source of your disempowering beliefs, you'll be a star.
I love that. So what you're saying here, this is huge, is that one, even before you're talking about the list of three things, is that your belief system, we all have one, right? And it's a system. It's not just one or two. It's a whole system that creates our interpretation of how we connect to our time, right?
Yeah.
It shows us what is possible with our 24 hours in a day based on what we imagine, right? And so starting the work there is huge. And you just gave three really important, incredible ways to start doing that. Like if I were to turn away from the screen and go do that today, I start with my routines. I start with, looking at who am I surrounding myself with? Is this building me up or is this bringing me down? And, they say your network is your net worth. And this is so true because who you surround yourself with is going to build into your belief system, into your experiences. And the third piece, that spiritual component, which so many of us shy away from because it's not tangible, it's abstract, right? And so important because your mind, those thoughts in your mind are also not tangible, right? And so to start working with that part of your life, which is pretty much it is everything. What I see right now, I'm here in Portugal and I'm looking at a castle, right? And how I interpret that, what I make it mean, has everything to do with how you're connecting to your emotions, your mind, your thoughts, and that spiritual component. So I love that you bring that in and you tie it to such a practical way to start working on it now. So then the last question I want to ask you is about leadership, right?
Okay.
This is where your specialties lies. And I know that leadership is crucial to be able to, we get in our own way, we get in the weeds, as we call it. So what does that take as we're leveling up in terms of leadership to be able to start stepping past those belief systems and that fear, right? What is like one thing we need to know to move ourselves forward in our leadership today?
Taylor, one of the greatest definitions of leadership that I've ever come across, and let me tell you something, I've read hundreds of books on leadership on some of the best leaders in the world, Vince Lombardi being one of them, Simon Sinek being one of them, and I've never come across any other definition other than the one of Dr. Miles Monroe, which says that leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, generated by a vision, produced by a conviction, driven by a vision, and ignited by a purpose. Right? Okay, you didn't catch that. Let me go back. Let me repeat that one more time. Okay, repeat that one time. He says that leadership is the capacity to influence others through. It's capacity to influence others through inspiration, right? Generated by a vision, produced by a conviction, and ignited by a purpose. All right. So let's go. Let's unpack this quickly. All right. Influence others. Influence what? Influence the thoughts and emotion of others. Okay. When we talk about inspiration, we talk about what? Mental stimulus to create. Mental stimulus to create something that is outside of the ordinary. Okay. When we talk about purpose, we're talking about what? The intent of creation of a thing. The vision of shoes may change, but the purpose of shoes will never change, which is protecting our feet, right? Purpose. When we talk about vision, okay, in the absence of vision, people perish. Without a vision, you do not know where you're going. You've got to have a vision. You get what I'm saying? Now, how do we all bring all of these together, you know, and really narrow it down to the concept of time and how people, isn't that your question? How the leadership, is that your question?
Yeah. So how do we start moving ourselves forward with our leadership and our time and in moving past that fear, right?
Okay,
and pulling
good.
us back.
Very good. So what I'm saying is, if you want to develop your spirit of leadership, okay, and by the way, I just want to throw this out there because I hear a lot of people talk about the fact that how can you be a leader if you don't have anyone to follow you? Look, we have to make a difference, draw a line between the position of leadership that we're talking about, which is having 2, 3, 5, 10 people that are beneath you, and discovering your own leadership spirit. All right. Notice, before you get to lead people, you first have to what? Discover your own leadership spirit. And I believe that every single body has a leadership spirit, but not every single body can be the leader of people. Right? What do I mean by that? Everybody has a life purpose. Everybody can have a vision. Everybody can have a conviction, and everybody can use their life story to inspire the next person. As a matter of fact, I believe we are all put on this earth that one person's used their story or their life journey to inspire others. That is why all you have to do to grow your head, your knowledge to 10x is buy a book of $15 to be exposed to the lifetime journey of somebody else, to the knowledge that they have gained for over 95 years that they have lived on this earth. And there you go, being inspired. There you go, getting a new vision. There you go, finding your life a purpose. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that everybody has a spirit of leadership, but not everybody can lead people. All right. So we have to draw that distinction right there. Okay. So now, how do we then talk about the leadership concept? And then how do we then talk about how we can make use of that to effectively impact our time? I mean, I think the answer already came out there, but let me reframe in the right way, okay? So, first of all, when I talk about knowing your purpose, I'm talking about, oh man, this is, look, if you're listening and watching this, you want to lean in because this one, if you miss it, you're going to miss everything, all right? You're going to miss the whole interview. Don't miss this one, okay? So, when we talk about the concept of purpose, we're talking about meeting yourself. All right. I mean, we meet people all the time like, hey, Taylor, how you doing? Nice to meet you. But I want to ask you a question. Have you ever told yourself, have you ever looked in yourself in the mirror? Or have you ever woke up one morning and after your meditation session and tell to yourself, oh, nice to meet me. Hello. What do I mean by that? When you get to meet yourself, you get to discover what your superpower is. You get to discover what your talents are. You get to know what your life priorities are. You get to know what your vision in life is. You get to know who you need to be with. You get to know, oh, come on, man. Listen, when you meet yourself, you get to dive in truly what we call the reason why you were made. Right. I mean, there's an author that said that a life purpose is the invitation of the creator to participate in your own reason for creation. That one was good. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So listen, when you discover your life purpose, when you know the reason why you are here, when you understand that, look, I've got a gift, and my gift is to speak, to inspire others to be more, live more, dream more, become more. And with that gift, I can fulfill my life purpose. You get to know how to use your time. Like my great-grandfather that died at 121 years old always used to say that when you know where you are going, you know which road not to take. Right. In other words, when you know your life purpose, you get to tap into a conscious step where you know how to use your time. Do you get what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes I get some of my friends that say, "Well, Steve, I mean, you know what? We going out, okay? We going out, you know, for almost 8 hours. We going to, you know, have drugs and we going to party. We go to." I'm like, hey, people, look, you are good people. I have nothing against you, but you gotta understand, I have a life mission. All right. And I am very conscious of how I need to use my lifetime, which is my ultimate currency, in order for me to get to that purpose. I need to make sure that at the end of the day, when that day comes for me, that I have to go back to where I come from. I go back to, when I say I come from, I'm not talking about Togo. When I have to go back to where I was made, I can account for something. I want to make sure that when I leave, they don't only count me as a person that sold vacuum cleaners. They don't only count me as a person that was, oh, great, a good leader of 200-300 people. No. But I want to make sure that the seed of greatness that I was born with has produced fruits that the human mind, the human brain, and the human hand cannot count. Do you know what I'm saying? That is the true definition of greatness. And a person that knows their purpose, know how to use their time, spend their time effectively so that they don't end up cheating themselves of their own gifts. Are you there? Oh, let me drop this one on you. The quote says that what, it's by Dr. Miles Monroe. He says what he says that the richest place on earth are not the diamond mines of South Africa, nor the oil field of Iran, nor are they the deepest gold coast of Ghana. No, they are not. But the richest place on earth is the cemetery. Is where you find dreams that were not accomplished. Is where you find books that were never written. Is where you find doctors that never came to life. Is where you find best corporation leaders that they couldn't become that CEO because they couldn't have the courage to fight their fears and doubt, to step up and say, I am here to fulfill my life purpose, to say, I am here to combat my fear, my doubt, and my low self-esteem, to convert my time effectively so that I can step into what I am called to be. Hey, Taylor, listen, I'm too excited, okay? I'm too excited.
So what you're saying, there's a really famous, I don't know if you know this quote that reminds me of exactly what you're saying here is, when I leave this earth, did I take more than I gave? Right? Did I give or did I take more? Right? And you're saying we are here to give. We are here to help our next generation like build this legacy of possibility and greatness, not in terms of material, but in terms of feeling on this internal experience that is beyond fear, self-doubt, and that low self-esteem, which you speak so deeply to. And as we're wrapping up here, because we're running in on time, is like I want to thank you for being so vulnerable to dive into your own belief system and share the transformation that has happened, right? As you've been going through this process of leadership development and transformation and bringing that out into the world. I mean, you're such a role model, walking your talk of like what that looks like in reality. And so many of us, we get to this place of, I don't know where to start. I don't know what that looks like. And, all we have to do is just look at you and start taking these pieces that really resonate with where we are right now. So I want to thank you for that. Now, there's one other thing, though, that I know for those of us who really loved what you have to say, and you kind of mentioned this earlier, for those of us who really love what you have to say, I know you have a gift to offer. What is that?
I mean, first of all, like this, what you see here, Salesforce Catalyst, okay? I mean, nobody really, because I don't talk about it much, but Taylor, when I started this company, I had just gotten out of corporate, started my business, which failed, and we crashed a year later, and I lost everything. Okay, I was back to zero. Just about 5 years ago, I had lost my houses, my cars, everything I had worked for, including my girlfriend that I was engaged with at the time. Okay, so I was literally back to scratch. And at that time, I asked myself 2 questions. I said, okay, what is next for me? And what was for me? What's next for me, to see what's ahead, and what was for me, when I get to unpack that question, what it really meant was, What were the things? What were my abilities? Okay, beside the hard work, everything, what were the unique talent that had brought me thus far? And I understood that it was more of my ability to, inspire people, to talk to them, to be real to them, to make them see how great they could be. And that's why, even though I was the youngest senior manager that the company had ever had, I was the best month in, month out until I had left that company, right? So when I started this Salesforce Catalyst company, I started it, in a dorm in Southeast Asia, where I remember arriving in Singapore for almost 3 weeks. I had not seen anybody that looked like me, all right? And here I was wanting to break through, right? This rigid and very solid, generations, years of culture. And here I am wanting to become a speaker and a coach in such a geography in the Southeast Asia. Now, it wasn't easy, right? It wasn't easy. And I mean, I can gladly say that, I thank God for opening doors, for giving opportunities for me to still be doing this right now, and definitely still serving my purpose across the world, right? So there's an element there. And that element is about discovering, releasing, and maximizing your potential, right? Potential is what we call dormant, dormant abilities or dormant capabilities or uncapped capabilities, which we have kept. Do you know what I'm saying? Let me repeat that again. It's unkept capabilities, unkept gifts, unkept talents that we have kept. All right. We have kept, K-E-P-T, kept, C-A-W-P-E-D. You know what I'm saying? So what we do to ourselves is we first of all fail to realize those dormant abilities we have within, and then we put a lid on that vase for them never to get out, right? So the human potential, it is literally limitless in its own sense. Who would ever know that today we'll be going to space, talking about visiting Mars, doing space tourism? Who would ever think that today we can drive cars that can sell, that we can basically sit and have cars that are self-driven, right? So the depth of what the human mind can achieve is limitless, right? And so is the capacity, the ability of each and every one of us. So what I'm giving to you in this free gift, right, which by the way, the value is close to $3,000. So you want to make sure you make use of it. Is number one, I'm giving you a 60-minute, you can call it a 60-minute course, all right? That it talks about rediscover, release, and maximize your potential to positively impact your world. Right? What do I mean by that? A person that discovers their potential and lives every single day to release and unleash it has no other way but to serve the world with it. We are all interconnected in creation so that the gift of one can serve the purpose of the other. A tree never ever eats of its own fruit. I will go and eat it. You will go and eat it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's nobody, I mean, a tree, I've never seen a tree sitting under its own shadow. Have you? I have never seen one. Right. But you and I will go sit under the tree to hide away from the burning scorching sun. Right. So I'm saying that we all have a potential and we owe it to ourselves to unleash it. But we've got to be aware that in the process of releasing that potential, we are going to face challenges. We are going to face difficulties, right? And then we must be able to use the right techniques, which is a PDF book that is in there as well, that we must be able to use the right techniques added to the routines that I shared with you earlier. We must be able to use the right techniques like swish method, meta modeling, have the right language, shaping our belief system so that we can be able to neutralize, right, those disempowering, unconscious and conscious belief system that could potentially hold us back. Let me finish with this, Taylor. When I had just gotten to South Africa, I mean, anybody that knows the story of South Africa, they will know that, I mean, the history of South Africa, they'll know that from 1923 to 1992, there was an institutionalized, racism called apartheid. And sadly for this country, there's still people that believe, in the white superiority still today in that country. And unfortunately for me, I ended up working for, a boss of mine, Martin. I mean, I was just, labor boy. I mean, I had dug a fish pond by then. I mean, I had cleaned floors by then as a janitor. I had worked ground by then on the farm, just trying to survive. And when I was working at this warehouse, carrying cement here and there, one Saturday afternoon, Martin said, "Hey, young man, come here. You go on your own and offload almost a 40-foot, container full of cement. One bag of cement is 50 kg on an empty stomach. Work all day long." And about 11 p.m., I passed out. And the following day, because by then I didn't have a place to stay, so I worked on the premises and slept on the premises and guard the premises. So work by night, but work by day. By night, I was a security guard as well. So I mean, I share these things so that people shouldn't think that, and when I talk, I'm talking from real life experience. So when I came back that following morning, Martin wasn't like, "Hey, are you okay? What happened?" No. When he saw me, and when you're watching this, when I'm doing this, right, like this, these are beatings. Okay, he's like, "Hey, you bloody monkey! Who do you think you are? You will never be anything." Listen, when Martin was done with me, it was something that really hurt me so much. Really hurt me from the bottom of my heart, that I stood there, in the middle of that yard, and I asked myself, but why? Why is it my fault to just be wanting to be successful? What have I done? How bad can it be that I am a young man that wants to create success for himself? What am I saying to you? I'm saying to you that there are things that will happen to you in life that will be thrown at you to literally, I mean, they carry the seed of eating your potential alive. Now, at that moment, this is what life is about. At that moment, when Martin was done with me, I had two choices. That very moment, the choice to subscribe to the belief that I am indeed ought to be nothing, as per Martin's predictions, or to the belief that, "Oh, Martin, oh, you think I'll be nothing? All right, give me 2 years and let me show you what kind of cloth I'm cut off." Do you get what I'm saying? And that's what life is about. That when we are thrown into those circumstances that test our potential, faith that cannot be tested, cannot be trusted, right? That when our faith is tested, when our potential, our God-given potential is tested through life experiences, we have a choice to use that as a springboard so that we can bounce back bigger, better, stronger, or we can use that as a slow poison to kill ourselves within, kill our dreams within, kill our God-given potential within, and kill our superpowers within. The choice is always ours. So what I'm giving to you, I'm giving you a tool. All right, I'm giving you a tool that will bring about your awareness, the talent that you have. I will bring about your awareness, the power that you have, but yet will bring to your awareness all the dangers that could be there to kill that same power that you have. And then I'm giving you a tool that when you come across those potential poison, you have something to neutralize it so that you can indeed be that whole that God has made. Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. And I want to thank you for sharing your remarkable story about, the hardship. I mean, there's this saying, life does this amazing thing where it doesn't always give you what you want. And you have turned that into your biggest possibility, like your momentum, your fire under your ass, if you will, to light up this world with your purpose. So as we're ending this here, I just really want to thank you for taking your time to go so deep into these principles and these possibilities that are within each of us. And so what I want to leave everybody with here is go grab those, like his free gift, Stephen's free gift. It's amazing. Like he said, it's almost $3,000 of material and possibility and practical steps you can take right now to go and start applying this to your life. Like, don't just observe this conversation. Go use this to take action because it's possible. So thank you, Stephen, for taking your time. It's been a pleasure, and you are a remarkable human being. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Taylor. Thank you for having me.